kung fu.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I have another action classic for you, 2010's Kick-Ass. Now, 2010's Kick-Ass was directed by Matthew Vaughn, and if that name sounds familiar to you, it's because Matthew Vaughn is no stranger to comic book films. Matthew Vaughn, over the years, have directed things like The Kingsman, X-Men First Class, and many other movies, in Kick-Ass 2, and actually I think he directed both a couple more all the Kingsman 1 and 2. But yeah, Matthew Vaughn he's a particular director. He has a style to him, and that is on full display in this movie. The movie also stars a young Aaron Taylor Johnson, yes, Kraven the Hunter, or Quicksilver, whichever one, take your pick, and a young Chloë Grace Moretz. And that was like the first big role she had, Chloë Grace Moretz, is this movie. It's also the first time I've seen either one of them, Chloë Grace Moretz or Aaron Taylor Johnson. I'd never seen them before. And it's funny going back and watching that movie now, particularly about Aaron Taylor Johnson, because Chloë Grace Moretz doesn't really do too much these days. A lot of the shit, and when she does do a lot of things, a lot of it's just straight to video, or it's just on-demand stuff. Like, she had a moment, particularly like shortly after the Kick-Ass franchise kind of ended, where she was in certain things. She was in like, she was in a couple movies. She was in that one movie, Neighbors. She was in that Neighbors 2 movie. Chloë Grace Moretz was in some things shortly after the release, shortly after the Kick-Ass thing. But I don't think she ever did anything quite on the level of her role as Hit Girl in the Kick-Ass franchise. Honestly, I don't think she ever, it's weird to say this, it's like she peaked at a very young age. Because not to say she's a bad actress or anything, Chloë Grace Moretz, but she just never did anything quite as memorable or as good as Hit Girl in this movie in particular. She was good in the sequel too, but she was particularly good in this, just this one. But the funny thing is, the actor that kind of is like so crazy where they started and where they are now is Aaron Taylor Johnson. It's hard, when you watch this movie, he reminds me so much of like Tom Holland from Spider-Man Homecoming. He's just this boyish, kid. But whatever. Getting into the actual movie itself, Kick-Ass follows Dave, I think his name Lizewski, this high school kid from New York. And Dave daydreams about being a superhero. He lives just an ordinary life of a high school kid, daydreaming, porn, all the fixings of being a freaking high school kid and everything that implies that comes along with it. But daydreaming about being a hero, doing the right thing, being brave, maybe just something different in his life. And one day he has the wise idea, or the stupid idea, to buy a wetsuit off of, I guess it might have been, I don't know, because Amazon didn't, I don't think was Amazon a thing in 2010? I'm not even sure. I think it was, but I don't think he got it off Amazon. But either way, he bought himself a wetsuit, made himself a superhero, got himself some batons, and decided to become a superhero. In the process of being a superhero, he sucks. He gets his ass kicked. He gets hit by a car, he gets wrecked. But when he recovers from that, he has steel, basically, half of his body has been replaced by steel. I mean, he's got steel plates in his arms, and his knees, and his legs, and his wrists. I mean, he's got them all over the place, dude. Like, he's got steel in his rib. I mean, like, all over the place, in his skull. The dude's like, and he makes the joke, it's like the dude's like Wolverine. It's like discount Wolverine with all the metal he has in him. Which sort of makes him a bit more tough. Also, his nerve endings have been greatly damaged, like irreversibly damaged. So, there are parts of his body where he can't feel pain. which made his pain tolerance more. Overall, the entire process essentially made him the toughest punching bag in the world, because he can take it because he can't feel it all, and because half of the shit in his body is made out of metal now. Not like not like on some Wolverine badass shit, just on some, it's not as easy to break his bones as it would be for a normal person. It's not as easy to break something in him because so many of the things are, metal, but he can still fuck him up. And along his journey, he runs into two fellow heroes in Nicolas Cage's Big Daddy and Chloë Grace Moretz's Hit Girl. And they are hard fucking core. The movie is cool, but once they enter the picture, it becomes a real comic book movie. Now, Matthew Vaughn is having a lot of fun, having like small comic book panels pop up, having literal comic book panels pop up, and the way that he edits it, it's very stylized to really play up that aspect of it. Like, parts of this feels like it could have been something like out of Sin City. Certain parts. Not that bad, not completely black and white literal panels like Sin City, but parts of it do feel Sin City-esque in terms of the panels and whatnot. I mean, there's a literal sequence in this movie where Nicolas Cage's old partner, because as we find out, Big Daddy Nicolas Cage's character, or hero name, used to be a cop, used to be a good cop, a legitimately badass cop. The mob boss that they're going after in the movie came after him, but he couldn't take him down the old-fashioned way. So what did he do? He fucked with his reputation, fucked him up, got him thrown in prison. His wife died, but fortunately his daughter was born. But we get that whole story told through comic book panels, as Nicolas Cage reads the comic book panels, as the character's flipping through. So that was a cool sequence. And there's things like that throughout the course of the movie that just because the movie is really like a self-aware, very meta with the comic bookness of it, of just the commentary on why have no one ever been a superhero and how realistic is it to be a superhero. But regardless of which, Hit Girl and Big Daddy are the real fucking deal. There are multiple action sequences throughout the course of this movie that are dope. Big Daddy's action sequence in the warehouse was dope. Hit Girl had a couple badass action sequences throughout it, including the final action sequence, which was awesome. This movie is, from an action standpoint, it has some top-notch actions. The final sequence in particular with Hit Girl, the hallway, or just the hall sequence, I thought was spectacular. It's a sequence that stuck with me as a child. I remember when I was a kid and I saw this movie, I was enamored by Hit Girl, because I had seen child vigilantes, obviously. You got Robin and whatnot. You got Robin, you got technically Spider-Man, teenage Spider-Man, but I had never seen a child kick-ass vigilante that violent. I still haven't seen that, honestly. I still haven't seen that. Hit Girl was such a unique thing. She was such a unique character, and the way she was raised, and the way you see Nicolas Cage's character raise her to be she's just a warrior, dude. She knows nothing but this shit. She was raised in this shit, dude. She's been dropping bodies since she was in diapers, man. Maybe not literally, but almost. It's crazy. She's 11 years, they kind of book her as she's maybe 13 or something like that, but she's been dropped, but the idea is that he's been training her. I mean, the first sequence you see, that first sequence of Big Daddy shooting her with a gun, because she has a vest on, and his whole thing is, I want you to get used to being shot in the plates of your vest, so that way, if you ever get shot in the plates when you're in the field, you can shrug it off, because I shot you in the plates a bunch of times, which is fucked up, but it's such a funny visual to just see him point this gun at a little girl, and them just be all chipper about it, and be like, bang! And they'd be like, shit, that hurts! Also, she is foul-mouthed. And at the time, once again, at the time when I first saw this movie, I hadn't heard some shit like that come up. I had heard foul-mouthed little kids, but I ain't heard foul-mouthed, kick-ass, murderous little kids. I was like, this is a whole new spectrum for me. But yeah, it's a rare thing where the youngest character in the movie is the most badass character in the movie. That's a unique position, I think. And it was very interesting in the movie. The dynamic between her and Kick-Ass, you could see, she's impressed by his heart. Because that's the whole movie, man. The whole movie is about that. The whole movie, the premise from top to bottom, is about, doing the right thing. It's about, what's the main, tenets of a hero. A hero isn't someone who wears a cape, who has a suit, whatever. It's someone who's willing to do the right thing and put themselves at risk. And that's what Kick-Ass is. He's not the best. He's not an acrobatic. He's not this badass fighter. He's just a dude who has his heart in the right place and wants to do the best he can. And in a way, he inspires other people. Funny enough, Kick-Ass's greatest power is to inspire other badasses to be heroes. Like, that's his greatest ability. It ain't kicking ass, but hey, it is what it is. The villains in this movie are on the so-so side. Mark Strong is in this, because of course Mark Strong is in this. Mark Strong's in every goddamn thing. Makes it, like, Mark Strong's in, like, all half of Matthew Vaughn's shit, but Mark Strong he's in this as this mob boss. And, like, the mob boss, like, I say the villains are so-so because there's a lot of funny dialogue with them. They're never intimidating. They're never they never feel like a true threat, even though, you know, they do end up killing one of the heroes. Like, even that was accidental, almost. Like, they never truly feel like a threat. They never truly feel like they can't be overcome. But they do have funny dialogue, and they are brutal in the way they execute things. And the movie itself is pretty brutal. It's a pretty bloody movie. It's not too over the top with the brutality, but it's a bloody movie. Like people get their legs chopped off and, you know, decapitated and shot in the face, and, you know, just like some dude got put in a microwave and exploded. So, you know, the movie isn't light on the violence. But, like, I think, like, it's not quite as crazy as some other movies that I've put on this list. But anyways, Kick-Ass is one of Mark Millar's best. And Mark Millar is the creator of this, and Mark Millar is someone that I brought up before. He's also the creator of Wanted and The Kingsman. So, yeah, Mark Millar, like, the dude just pumps out great material for these people to make movies about. Because his art, well, he's the writer. His work is just so, I don't want to say cinematic friendly, but Kingsman, Wanted, Kick-Ass, a lot of his work is just cinematic friendly. It's very easy to adapt his work to the screen. Not to say that other superhero stuff isn't, but his stuff in particular, the way he writes it is just pretty easy. I'm actually shocked they haven't made a remake of Kick-Ass. They haven't tried to redo this because it's very good material, especially in the world right now with superheroes and the boys and whatnot. Kick-Ass is in that vein. It's in the vein of the boys. It's in the vein of some of the more grittier, down-to-earth superhero universes, really, because it is a universe. But I digress. I would give 2010's Kick-Ass a 9 out of 10. I love the cast. I love the movie. The villains are so-so, but the style that Matthew Vaughn films it with, the fun and glee that they have, the dialogue, the characters, interactions, the brutal honesty, with just frankly some of the way they go about it, and the heart in the movie from Aaron Taylor Johnson, I give Kick-Ass a 9 out of 10. It was thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like and subscribe and comment below. Have you seen 2010's Kick-Ass? If you haven't, you should go back and watch it. Thank you guys again. See you on the next one.